Tuesday. Welcome to the session of Getting Started. My name is Julia Masalska. Hopefully, you guys are all doing good on this wonderful Tuesday. I see a bunch of you already in the chat. We have Akansha, Noor, Andres, Steve, Sean, Javier, Viola, and Julie. Thanks everybody for joining. It's been such a fun day yesterday, and I'm so excited to continue our work on our inspiration library using Adobe Capture and the CC libraries. So it's really cool to have you guys here, and let's hang out. Let's have some coffee. I'm having some juice today, and we're going to be working on continuing creating this amazing asset library for ourselves, including colors, typefaces, and today we're also going to jump into graphics. So we're going to take a look at some of the packaging that I took pictures of, and we're going to try to recreate and create some new variations of those in Adobe Illustrator to kind of have those set for ourselves whenever we're going to create something similar, so we already have those assets there and can already access those. Cool. Hi Sean, and Damaris is joining us, and Stone is here. Yeah, Anthony Inspiration Gallery sounds fun. Totally. It's been so much fun yesterday extracting, color palettes out of famous brands like LaCroix, and today we're also going to jump into some other brands that I took pictures of. So really exciting. And whenever you guys, if you guys are joining from YouTube, make sure to go onto be.net/live. This is where I'm going to be reading the comments, and this is where I'm also going to be answering the questions from. So make sure to head there. Hi Suchit, good to see you. Awesome. My friends, let's jump right into my iPad situation here, and so that we can go right into Capture. So Adobe Capture is an application that you can get for your mobile devices. So it can be your iPhone, your iPad, any sizes of phones or iPads, as long as it has internet connection. I think it should work. All right, so let me jump into Adobe Capture. This is what it looks like, what we've created yesterday. So we have extracted a bunch of color themes already, but we're going to do some more. And as you can see at the top left, we will find the pumpkin spice ones that we extracted from some pumpkin images. That was super fun, and maybe you guys can do the same, and maybe you can also create something out of that. That would be really awesome to see. So if you post that, make sure to tag me, and if you find the chance and the time to create something cool out of those color palettes, let me know. I want to see it. Cool. Who's saying hi? Julia Strater. Julia Strater. Okay, it sounds like a combination between a demonstrator and Julia. I'm not sure where the Strater comes from though, so let me know. Cool. Yeah, so she's just saying looking forward to today's session as well. Yeah, me too. All right, my friends. So let's take a look at what we've been looking at yesterday. I have told you already that I went to the store and I took a bunch of photos from different products, as you can see. And yesterday we went through some of it, but not all of it. Yesterday we went through the Bum Chica Pop images, and also we went through the LaCroix images, but today we're going to look more on the cosmetics packaging side. So I have found some really amazing cosmetics brands, and also a vitamin brand called Ray that's super cool. They're doing some really interesting products, and their color palette is also very different from anything that I have seen. So maybe we can take a look at that. And also I would like to take a look at general iconography between different brands, and what kind of icons are they using, to kind of be able to guide you and entertain you through the information process that you're reading through on the packaging. All right, so let's just start with this Ray brand. I think they're doing a really great job in terms of colors and kind of standing out on the shelf. So they have this product range that has very minimalistic appeal, and they are using some really amazing colors. So they're having those like really subtle colors, like light yellow, brown, greenish tones, beige tones, anything that has to do with off-white tones. Super, super cool. Yay! Akansha is saying we'll love to see something on patterns. Yeah, we will do some patterns later on as well. Yesterday was super fun. We were literally taking images of my thumb holding a candle, and then it came out to a pattern. So that was super cool as well. All right, so now let's take a look at this and let's try to extract the colors from here. So I am basically sliding around the sliders, and I'm trying to figure out, what are the colors that we need and what are the colors that are basically, significant for our product. And maybe we can also find something in the environment that's interesting. So let's say we have this like red going on in the background. I think that could also work really, really well with this type of branding. But let me find all the sliders where there is one that I cannot find right now. Where is it? So we have the black, we have the beige, then we have this yellow, and then I found a red, but where is the... Oh yeah, those are actually 5 already. Okay, so let's move around on this one a little bit, and maybe we can grab one of these gray tones in the background. I think if you look at the color palette, I think it already looks like something really, really interesting. And I'm just going to click and save it. But before that, for all of you who are just joining today and have missed yesterday's sessions, first of all, make sure to watch the replay later on. But let's take a look here what we can do with that. So here in Capture, we have different options of extracting something off an image, right? And also, we can not only take the image that we already have on our mobile devices, but also we can go ahead into the store and just go around, walk around with our camera and just find the right spots to find the colors, right? So you can also just use the live camera to capture the colors, but also you can use an image that you have already taken. Then we can also extract typefaces. So if I click on type, I will be able to see that Capture allows me to extract some of the typefaces. So I'm just going to click, let's say, on this one. Yes, I want to extract that one. And let's take a look what Capture is going to offer me. So what Capture does is kind of is accessing the fonts.adobe.com page and our whole font library that we have at Adobe. And those fonts are so easy to activate into your software. So all you have to do is basically, here in this case, pick the typeface that you think works, and it will already be added to your CC libraries, which then you can access on your computer. This is what I'm basically doing right now. I love these K's here in between. This looks so cool. Although it's not the original typeface that is on the packaging, I think this Filson Pro Medium is a really great typeface for this type of text. And the weights seem to be also very similar. So now let's take a look what else can we find that's similar to this. I think the Haboro Soft could be something. I think it's just a little bit wider from what I can see, and if you look at the letter S. So if you want to really find the right typeface, you really need to look at the details, right? So from far, these typefaces might look the same. I'm talking about the Haboro Soft and the typeface on the package. So, but if you look at the single letters, you will be able to spot some differences. So let's take a look at the Y. If you look at the Y in Haboro Soft, you will see that there's a tiny little edge before kind of this handle goes down. And if you look at the original typeface from the packaging, there is none of that. So it's just very minimalistic, 2 lines that are kind of touching each other. While in Haboro Soft, you will have this little edge that kind of, implicates a little curve in the Y. Then if you look at the letter S, you will be able to see that the letter S in the original packaging is a little bit more curvy on the top and bottom side. And if you look at the S in Haboro Soft, you will see that it kind of more goes to like along the curve instead of really defining the curve. Okay, so and then what else can we look at? So the K looks very similar. If we look at the O in the original packaging is pretty round, so you will not see any edges or curve changes. But if you look at Haboro Soft, you will see that the O has little kind of like little edges on the top and bottom part, which kind of makes it stand out as well. So yeah, so that's kind of the way how you can define if that's the right typeface that you're looking for. But honestly, for me right now, it's to find something similar, and it's to find something that I can use for future packaging designs. And Fill Some Pro Medium, I think, is a very great kind of comparison typeface for this, because if you look at the O's now, they will look very similar, and the Y's as well, very minimalistic. Although it has this very kind of curvy K, I think we can still go with that. So I'm going to save that to my library as well. Okay, so for all of you who haven't been there yesterday, to save something to a library, all you have to do is basically create a new library, or you can use one that you already have. So here, if you look, there's a tiny plus. So if you click that plus, you will be able to kind of create a new library. But if you scroll down here, you will be able to see all of your different your different libraries that you already have. So your CC libraries. Cool. All right. Let me know how are you all doing in the chat. Ruth is asking, I know you're a branding designer, just wondering if you're using the app for your projects. Yes, I totally do, and it's so much fun to use it, because you can literally go anywhere and then you can have this library and you open your computer and it's already there. So that's super amazing. Let me quickly open the file in Illustrator that we've been working on yesterday. So now I'm saving this typeface. Let's say this could be let's say like a title. Oops, I'm typing on my keyboard, which is not connected to my iPad, of course. Okay, title could be the name for this type of typeface, I would say. Okay, save to inspiration, and it's already there in our libraries. Now, if I jump into my Illustrator and open my libraries, by the way, to access the libraries in Illustrator on the desktop, all you have to do is go to Window and then activate the Libraries panel. So this is when the Libraries panel kind of appears, and then you will be able to see your different libraries. So Inspiration is the library that I'm saving into from my iPad. Or I can also use my iPhone for that, of course. And as you can see, this typeface is already here. This typeface is already there, called Title, and now I can just push it into my packaging typefaces folder that I have created. Now, from yesterday, we have created so many color palettes, guys. If you take a look at this, we can totally work with that for our future project. Today, we're going to extract a color palette that's a little bit more, more subtle, and it will always have this puppy color, which is kind of this yellow, but it will be a very subtle color palette. So let's take a look at that again from Ray, and let's take a look at what kind of colors are they using. So this is the image that I was looking at, and we have kind of filtered out the typeface already, but now let's take a look at the colors. So I'm going back to colors, and I think it still has my, oh no, it doesn't have my presets. That's fine. So I remember we picked this like very light gray, which is kind of like almost like an off-white. Then I'm just moving around the slider around the packaging just to find the spot where it's not overly reflecting the light, because that spot will not give me the exact color. So now I'm kind of selecting this yellow or lime green. I think it's more a lime green than yellow. And then I'm going to go ahead and select this black color, which is kind of almost looks here like a charcoal dark gray, but really I know it is actually black. Okay, let me find the right spot here. Yeah, I think this should work. Okay, and then I also picked this dark red at the bottom. I think that could work really well. So now if you look at the color palette, we have this. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, guys. So there we go. So I have picked exactly the same image as we were working on before, and so here we have this very light lime green. We have this kind of nude tone. Then I have picked one from the background, which is this off-white kind of grayish color. And then we have the typeface color, which is almost a black, but also kind of like a charcoal dark gray. And also I have selected this dark red from, I think that was a shirt that I was wearing or something like that. Or maybe it was my little, my cart, not my cart, but this other smaller thing. So yeah, so I think this could be really, really interesting for us to take a look at. I think this color combinations could work well together. So now I'm clicking OK, and now I have this color palette, and I can still go in it and kind of change the tones and work on the tones a little bit. So here maybe I will go a slightly bit lighter so that I have a good contrast, and more maybe in the warm direction. So that could be interesting. And then from here, this is kind of like a brownish tone, but I really want it to be more of on the black side, and maybe like more colder. So I don't want it to go too much into the blue, but let's just play around with it a little bit. So I think this could be it. And now let's go into this new tone. I believe that new tone was actually just a little bit lighter, so that yeah, I'm just trying to kind of understand what exactly that was. I think that was something similar to that. And we can even go and still experiment a little bit further, which here we can make it a little bit warmer if we want to. And then at the top we can also play with the with the bluishness of the tone. I think this could be pretty accurate. And now I'm clicking save, or before that I could also even go back to the image, go to the harmonies, and so on. So I'm clicking save, and now this this color theme I will call Ray, because this is the brand that I have basically extracted the color theme for. Yeah, Anthony's saying usually I go to my laptop, make something new. Now I can get started with the capture on the go. Yes, totally. And I really love using it, when you're in the store and or somewhere and you see, those, let's say there are several SKUs or several candles, several cups or anything, and they have those tones that kind of really, really go well together. I usually take a picture of that, capture the tones out of it, and save it to my libraries. And next time when I'm kind of using my Illustrator, I can already access those, and I can already be like, okay, let's do something cool out of that. And especially if you guys are working on passion projects, this is the perfect thing to do, honestly, because first of all, most of the people who work on passion projects are usually the ones who want to grow their portfolio and to learn a bunch of things. So by observing other brands so closely, you really get to learn about how they're successful and what exactly are basically their schematics on the packaging, and what kind of typefaces are usually used, what kind of colors can you combine together and that go well together. Let's say you're kind of learn to find similar hues and similar tones that really build a family together. So I think that's something really important to understand, especially while learning design. So okay. Henry's saying, I think there will be less people at tonight's daily challenge event because because of Apple's September event. Okay, but there's still replays, and and by the way, the daily creative challenges are super awesome right now with Paul Trani. He's doing some history lessons and so on. Super cool. Cool. Saya is saying you're supposed to have in Windows tab to enable library. Well, it's like that on Photoshop. In Windows tab to enable library. I'm not sure what a Windows tab is, but you can definitely enable libraries in the capture applications, which I'm using right now. So okay, so let's look at the SKU. I already forgot what that product was. So this is a dietary supplement. Okay, biotin dietary supplement. I'll just call it dietary supplement. Dietary supplement. Okay, cool. All right, save. And now I have it also in my inspiration library. And now as I go to Illustrator, I'm able to see it right away. It's already here. And let me create a new group here that will be called, actually, yeah, the folder. So when you're in Illustrator, let me actually push myself to the other side so that you guys can see what I am doing here. All right, so that should work better. So looking at the libraries, as you can see at the bottom part, you will see this little folder symbol. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see. So this folder symbol basically is the one where you can create a group out out of your assets in libraries. So I'm going to click that, and now I have this new group up here at the top, basically kind of like a new folder, right? So I'm going to call this Ray, because this is the branding that we kind of took the colors off. And I'm just going to add that one, and as you can see, compared to the other palettes that we have created, this one is really, really subtle, and it only has this one bright tone, which is this lime green. So now let's jump back to our iPad and let's continue researching on Ray. Let's continue looking at what they're doing, how they're kind of selecting the colors, and what exactly is their, how are they doing it? How are they so successful? Okay, so here we have Ray. We already took the front side. Then let's jump to the next product, which is going to be this one. It's our dietary supplement as well. This is a hyaluronic acid and electrolytes. So now I'm going in and I'm kind of adjusting the colors in here. And as you can see, the color yellow here is a little bit different, has a different hue than before. Before it was more of like a green. So again, I'm picking this black color, or almost like a charcoal, and let's take a look. Maybe we can again kind of add this floor color to it to kind of keep it a color that's really contrasty, and that we can use for to type on, let's say, a pretty much light color background. So now I have these 5 colors, and again, very subtle. Most of it is on the grayish side. We also have this kind of yellow, that this kind of red that we pushed in, but maybe we can even just go somewhere else and look for different other tones that are there. Maybe we can add this blue. I think would work really, really well. Cool. Yeah, so this color palette is pretty much very cold, on the cold side, so it doesn't have no warm tones at all, which is very interesting. Could be interesting for us, although I would say this blue kind of has a little bit of warmness. There is this theory that colors always are, either blue and gray and are cold, but colors that are more on the orange side and red side are more warm. But if you look at 2 blue tones, one can look warmer than the other. So even though you're kind of moving around cold shades, cold tones, you can still find warmth in the cold tones. It sounds very poetic, right? Okay. Nori saying, look what she's doing. Pay close attention. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm a teacher of a class and everybody's kind of talking about other things. Cool. Mr. Godzilla is asking, I don't understand how to set up this library thing. So let's take a look at this. So to go, if you want to start a new library, let me save this one first. Okay, this is dietary supplement 2. All right. And by the way, these colors are saved in RGB, right? So we have here, yesterday we had a question where we were kind of trying to figure out, are the colors in RGB, or what is the color tone? So here we can select RGB, CMYK, lab, HSB color. So whatever you guys want to add to your library, this is where you get to pick what kind of color you want to select. So here we can also switch to CMYK, but I do want to keep them in RGB for now, because if I need to switch them to CMYK, I can still recolor it and set up a CMYK file. So now I'm clicking save. So here you are able to just to create a library, to create a CC library. This is where you kind of click the little plus and you can add a new library. Mine is called Inspiration right now, and here you will be able to select the library that you want to use. So hopefully that answers your question. Otherwise, if you are in Illustrator, you can also create a new library. So here, if you activate libraries in the window, you will be able to click here and create new library. So here you're also able to kind of add to your library. And we already have our color palette here appearing. So I'm going to pull it into the Ray color palette library here, to the Ray folder and group. so that we kind of have all these colors side by side. And as you can see, those greens, they're already different. So that's actually the exciting part of capturing colors like this, because they will all look different. So let's take a close look at both of these side by side. We will be able to see that they are actually pretty different. So let's make this one this green color, and then we're going to use the other one right side by side. And as you can see, there is a difference between those two. So the bottom one is a little bit darker and more on the warmer side, and the top one, it probably has a little bit more reds, and the top one is more on the more greener and cleaner green side. So that's really exciting. And you know what we can also do is, of course, we can just pull these to the side and kind of copy paste them, and we can also go in and find similar tones, and maybe a tone that will work better for a project. So maybe something more on the yellow side, or here you can really go wild and kind of work yourself around these colors. So this is what I usually also do. I don't just like pick a color and tell them, hey, this is lime green, but I also look between the different lime greens and see what would work better, and should we go on to more on the yellow side or more on the green side. So this can be really interesting to take a look at. And whenever you create something like that and you want to see colors side by side, make sure they're really kind of almost overlaying each other, so they're really touching each other. It makes it easier for the eye. And also make sure to zoom in, because right now if I have it zoomed in, I can perceive the colors so much better than if I zoom out and I have all this gray in the background, right? And I have this purple also affecting my eye. So if I just zoom in, I'm just able to kind of perceive it so much better. All right, cool. So let's jump back into our iPad, and let me know in the chat, guys, if you still have any questions. It has to be the same account of your desktop Illustrator. Yes, exactly. That is correct, Noor. So to be able to use all the applications in the best way, and also to be able to profit from the libraries, you do need to have an account where you kind of have a CC subscription. This is where you are able to kind of use this CC library and access it from all the different applications, including Capture. So yeah, so this is exactly how it works. Mr. Godzilla, is the app called Adobe Capture Creative Camera? Yes, this is what it's called. Let's take a look at that on the App Store. So I'm using an iPad right now, but you can also do it on your phone, or if you have an Android device, that could also work. So here I'm looking for Capture, and here I will find Adobe Capture Creative Camera. This is not it. All the other stuff is not it. So this is it, and I've already downloaded it, so I have it accessible. And then you basically log in with your Adobe ID that you're also using for your desktop products, right? So, all right, my friends. So we have a bunch of stuff that we have created in the past 2 days. Let's add a couple more colors to the Ray collection, because we only have 2 color palettes there. So let's add some more, because they do have some exciting stuff. They have, for example, this amazing green that we can add. This really nice kind of army green color, and here we have again another type of yellow. I think this one is even more yellow. So it's all about kind of finding the colors that, oh, this is interesting though, to kind of combine this darker color and, okay, so this is good. Again, maybe one of the darker red tones. Oh, and we have some purple this time. I kind of love it. I'm kind of liking this. So yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that we have captured everything. So the Ray products usually have only 3 colors inside their packaging, but we're also adding some other colors from outside. So why not? Because we can still create new things with that. So again, I'm clicking OK, save. and this is going to be array supplements, dietary supplements, number 3, because we already had 2. I could also be a little bit more precise and, you know, really name what kind of supplement it is. Is it biotin? Is it any kind of mineral? Or okay, so we have that one added. I actually really love the purple. And now that we're jumping again back to Illustrator, we are able to pull this into our Ray library again. Cool. By the way, you can also organize this stuff later. I just wanted to show you guys how I kind of, how I kind of use those folders inside Illustrator and kind of, modify the arrangement there. All right, so now, do we have another one? Let's see if we have another product here of Ray. Okay, yeah, I think we have another one, which is this kind of golden looking one, light brown or golden, whatever you might see. And then we have this really bright yellow. We have our capture picking up this purple in the background. And this time I'm also going to move to this blue, so that can be really interesting for us. And again, I'm using this dark color here. Cool, yeah, I think that totally works. And the more often you do something like that, the quicker it kind of goes and the easier it is to produce new things, just like in design. So whenever you guys are comfortable doing something, it comes in almost naturally, almost quickly. Cool. I think stores must provide a product photography kit for designers. Yeah, so I think technically it's not the best practice, but you can also, let's say, so I had this soap at home, and it kind of course you can't see it right now because it's green, but this soap basically is one of the products that I really like, and I have been using it anyway, so why not use the different aspects of it and take a closer look. And you can also just take a closer look at the products that you already have at home. You don't necessarily need to go find new things, right? So you can take a look at what typefaces are there in your cereal box, what kind of colors are they using on your milk packaging, right? So those are also very interesting things. But you know what, unfortunately, many of the things that kind of surround us, let's say it's kind of a very affordable shampoo, usually they're really poorly designed, and once you take a closer look at it, you will be able to see. So I'm actually not always satisfied looking at products that I already have at home. Yeah, so but it can be an inspiration to still go to the store or to look online. I mean, you can still even just take an image from the web and and take the colors from there. Saya's saying, sometimes when I take a picture for capture, I make sure I have to have light and shadow reflect on it to capture also tone of color. Yeah, that's a really great idea. And here, as we had those different tones of the yellow, this can also help us to build, we can even build a library only of those tones. Because why not? We kind of, we already have those tones, so why not play around with them even further and go into depth? And next time when you take a look at one of these tones, you're like, oh, okay, this one is on the yellow side and this one is on the green side. Whilst before, since you were not, paying a close attention to that, you were kind of seeing that color as the same color everywhere, but really it's never the same. Even looking at the computer and at the printed product, it will always look different. So color is a very interesting topic, guys. Alberto, what's up? Good to see you. And I just realized that Waza is actually from The Office, because I recently started watching The Office after one of those streams with Arabella. Paloma is saying, I'm so excited to start using this. Yeah, totally. Okay, so let's continue. Dietary supplement number 4, right? Okay, good. So now let's get, oh, actually I forgot to switch to my iPad. Okay, so now I have saved that color palette that we've been taking a look at earlier, and now jumping into Illustrator, I have this color palette back here, and I'm pulling it in. So now let's become analytical about this. let's take a look at the color palettes that Ray is using, right? And let's sort the different colors and let's see what, what are they doing? How are they using their color, right? So I'm making myself like a small color palette of 5 tones each, and I can just, copy paste it, and I'm just going to replicate the color palettes that I already have of them, so so that we can kind of compare those and see where is the key color, what's sticking out. So now what I'm doing is I'm just using my mouse, and I'm just selecting those colors that are inside my color palettes. It's very, very easy. All you have to do for that is select the rectangle and then just click on the color. And yeah, this is how we are kind of trying to replicate those color palettes and organize them, because I do want to use it almost kind of like cards that that I can sort around and see where the colors are coming from, and kind of be able to analyze this. And as you have them side by side like this, you will see some things. You will see some interesting things happening. And some of the things are that these black tones are always the same, right? Or similar, because of course it's the typeface color. Now we can say, okay, Julia, so which color typeface do we want to use? Do we want to use a lighter black color, or do we want to use one of those that are almost black? So as you can see, some of them are kind of moving in the blue direction. Now let's take a look at this one. This one is moving more in the green direction and more towards black, and this one is moving in the brown direction, is more towards black. So as you can see, although those colors look really, really different, they will affect our design, because if you are choosing a black tone that already has a little bit of brown in it, it will work super well as a contrast to like very cold colors like this blue, so or this like very light blue. So those two will work super well together because of this contrast. And at the first sight, you're thinking that this is almost black, but really it's not that black. Okay, so we have these black tones, then we have our signature color that every package of Ray is using for their logo. And this is this lime green, and as you can see, even the lime green is changing from our different captures. Now, what we have is our feature colors. So every single packaging has this certain color that kind of reflects the function of the product, right? So we have these different supplements, and they're all kind of shown in different tone. But if you look at those tones together, you will notice that they're all very subtle. They're really off tones. So this green is more, let's take a closer look here. So this green is more on the grayish side, right? And it's almost going towards white here. So this green is actually also kind of almost like a byproduct. So if you take this really shiny like a lime yellow and kind of move it back to dark, that's the color you will get. So it's also really interesting how colors belong together, right? So let's say I want to find a partner for this color. All I have to do is to find kind of like a tone on tone partner is I'm going to look at this color closely, and I'm just going to use the same hue. So the hue is more on the red side here, and let's say I want to move this just a little bit like that, and these colors will already work really well together. So just working with this color picker, you can totally find combinations and or even contrasts. So let's say I want to find a contrast to this, like a really, really harsh contrast, right? And I'm going here into the color, and here we have red, right? So what's the opposite of red? It might be somewhere on the other side, right, of the palette. So I might go for this green, and then I might not even go for the dark green. I might even go for this very, very bright green. So maybe let's go this way and take a look at that. How contrasty is this? It's not harmonic at all, right? So but you can play with that. You can definitely play with that and create something really cool out of colors that really don't belong together. Okay, so this is how I kind of do this, and I do go into the slider and I modify the color, and maybe it can be, more of like a subtle green, because we have decided that our brand is more on the calm side. So yeah, these colors can totally also work together. Maybe even a lighter shade. So let's quickly take a look, maybe like that. Yeah, and that could be really, really interesting. Let's try it out actually. So why not? So while we're here, while we're kind of experimenting, let's try this out, and let's type something like so this is going to be my J brand. So it's only a J, right? And I'm going to put this right here in the middle, and I'm using the eyedropper tool to use this color. So as you can see, these colors totally could work together as well, right? Or let's say we want to do some like nature brand, so then let's just try it out. I mean, why not? And this is kind of the way you can experiment with color and see how the colors on top of each other really work. Just, type something out, put some shapes on top of each other. You don't necessarily have to just keep them side by side. You can also work like this and figure out, a way to see if these colors actually work together. All right, so let's say it's a brand called Nature Labs or something like that. Nature Labs. Okay. So now I have this logo. I'm gonna outline this, and now let's say we have this Nature Labs logo, and we can go in and try some of the other typefaces that we chose for our packaging, right? So let's say Nature Labs has also some ingredients on their packaging. I'm going to use this title typeface that I've selected earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and select the typeface that's way smaller. Hey, okay, so this one is pretty big. So let's say let's write something like gifts from nature, something like that, kind of like a slogan, right? And then now let's try to find a color that works with this. So how about this off-white here? I'm just using the eyedropper, gifts from nature, and then of course we have to make this way smaller, or we can make the rest bigger. That could work, but let me just outline this for now, like so. Nature Labs, gifts from nature, bam. And here we have a good representation of how this typeface could totally, or this color combination could totally work together. Although you're thinking, ugh, like dark red and light green, that's weird, but it can totally create something really interesting and really outstanding, right? Cool. Reverb is saying your true colors coming shining through. Yes. Julie saying, how is the serif font called? Yeah, let's take a look at that. The serif font is called this is the serif font, and it is Fright Display Pro. That's the typeface that I'm using here. And then we have also saved yesterday this one, Rubik, and this one today, Filson Pro Medium. So I think this, you know how people work combining serifs and sans serifs. I think this could work really well in this case, where we kind of use the serif for a logo or for some kind of header title, and then use the sans serif for the descriptions or things that are written in a very small way, so that those are legible, right? And for all of you guys who are still on YouTube, make sure to join the conversation on be.net/live. This is where we're hanging out. This is where I'm answering you guys' questions. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's a problem. Damaris is saying, I like to experiment sometimes so much that it's harder for me to decide which direction to go. I have to remind myself to stop after the 30th variation. Damaris, but that's not a bad thing, But yeah, you're right. We do have to kind of find this point where we say, okay, Julia, this is it. And from here, just pick the best and go from there, So I do have that struggle sometimes as well. But, it's worse of a struggle if you still have coming ideas to kind of create more variations. The struggle will be if you had no ideas, and if you will be sitting there with only one variation and you wouldn't be sure if that's the best option. And let's say you kind of promise the client to provide them with 3 different concepts, and you do want to develop 3 different strong concepts, but you're sitting there and have no ideas. That would be the worst, I think. So Damaris, your problem is actually not a problem. Okay, hi Stefan, good to see you. Cool. Mr. Godzilla is saying I deleted the app and reinstalled, but it's using my Godzilla account that does not have the CC account. I want to log in using the account with this. How do I do this? So I think you have to log out from your let me see if I can do this. I think you can log out your account and then create a new account. So right now, let's say I'm here. So I have clicked on my little icon on the top left side, right? And this is my account. So now I can sign out in the right corner. So if I sign out, then I will be able to log in with a new ID. So this is how you can do it. All right, cool. Saya saying that was really nice stream, learned so much. Yes, and we're not done yet. We still have 45 minutes to go, so we will do some amazing stuff. Next step will be, guys, so we have taken a look at colors and typefaces. So now let's take a look at the iconography. Let's take a look at what can other brands show us how to use iconography, and maybe we can get some inspirations and create our new iconography for our passion project. Cool. Awesome. Sean is saying on the app, on the extra bottom left, tap on your icon. Yes, exactly. Okay, cool. Awesome. So now let's jump back into our iPad, and now let's take a look at the iconography. Let's take a look at the graphics that are located in some of the packaging that I have taken pictures of, right? So one thing that I remember really well is this little smiley icon on this packaging right here. So here you can see this little smiley on the top right, and here I'm gonna go into the shapes, and here I will be able to easily extract the shapes. So let's say or if you want, you can also extract shapes of other things, because here what you naturally want to do is you actually want to create your own. You don't really want to reuse the same shape. But let's take a look at one of the images that I took that does not necessarily kind of take a design from like an actual design, but let's take a look at pumpkins. Let's take a look at our pumpkins, and look how wonderful. We can I can already see us using this pumpkin on the top right side, for some kind of invitation or something, something cool. So why not? We can totally use this image. So let's use this image, and we can also play around here on how much, texture, how much darkness do we want to take into our capture. And if you look at any picture that you will find spots that are more dark and spots that are more light. So this is where you're basically sliding up and down to make those appear even more or less. So let's take a look. Let's say we want to take something like this, because this dark color right now looks really dramatic, but really what I want to do is I want to apply another color on top of that, right? So let's go ahead and take something, maybe something like that. And it creates really interesting textures. So even if you look at this like floor bottom part, you will be able to use that texture in your future designs as well, if you kind of extract it a little bit. So now let's save this and let's continue working on with that. So you can also go into smooth and kind of smooth it out, or you can crop the different things. You can also, of course, what you can do is you can totally sketch something on paper and then take a picture of that. I think that is also really cool to do. So let's say I want to kind of do some sketches of logos, and then or I do some lettering on my sketch pad. I can totally take capture and, you know, create a vector right out of my sketch and put it into Illustrator and continue working on that. So, okay, so let's say I want to take this, and this is good for me right now. Let's create some kind of cool invite out of this. So I'm going to call this pumpkins for obvious reasons. And now we have it as SVG. I think that's the only way we can save it. Okay, we have it saved as SVG file, and I'm going to click save it, and again it's in my inspiration already. So oh, you can also, I just have this little notification pop out, so you can also use your shapes in Fresco, and then you can paint on top of that. So let's try that. That could be actually interesting. So Fresco is also an application that you can use on your Adobe devices, or on your mobile devices. So let's say Cloud Documents. Do I have it saved there? No, I don't think so. To maybe go back here and open it in Fresco. So let's take a look. Move to, okay, actually let's just stick with that. Let's see. I can also save it to camera roll and continue working on that. But for now, let's just stick to opening it in Illustrator. I think that will be pretty good right now. Okay, so as I have it here, wait, give me a second. I should have saved it somewhere. Okay, share, export as SVG. Okay. Oh, actually, I already have it on in my libraries up here. Cool, perfect, guys. So let's just pull this in, and let's create something inspired by our pumpkin spice color palettes that we have extracted yesterday, and also using this image, of course. Wow, look at that. This is really, really interesting. And same like that, you can also work with, let's say, capturing, you know, different materials. So let's say water. You can also capture your carpet at home, or your floor, or a piece of wood, and you can totally work with that. So let's work with this for now, and maybe we can simplify just a little bit, because right now it seems to be a little bit laggy, or maybe I have other applications. Let me quit this. Okay, so so we have this illustration here that is actually really, really awesome already. It does not have no background. So let's say if we decide to put another like a rectangle underneath, we can totally do that. And then our color will be partially, of course, because we have these spaces where capture removed the white out of the image and just left the black. So so that those spaces will be see-through, and then we can make a really, really cool invite now. So let's make a cool invite out of that. And maybe we can use one of these pumpkin photos, pumpkin colors that we have extracted yesterday. Let's make this a different color, because why not? We can totally play around with that and create something really cool out of this. So look how cool does that look? I think that's really, really awesome, and we can totally make something cool out of that. You can even use that. So let's say I would have taken images of like food. We can totally use that for a menu. So let's say I'm here, let's say I want to make like an ad for let's say for like a local store, and they're having pumpkins. So they're having some pumpkin sale. They have a pumpkin sale. So that now I am going to make one of our typefaces that we have selected. So maybe this one or that one. Pumpkin. Pumpkin. All right. Let's see. Maybe this one, and then let's go ahead and make it way larger by also making our image. This image is pretty large, so I'm just going to decrease the size here and make it a little bit smaller. So let's say I want to create an invitation, and I know it's going to be printed on a letter size. I need to simplify that. So let's say it's going to be printed on a letter size, and for that I'm gonna go into my oh, this is a really complex vector, but that's okay. Let's go into our artboard thing here. Come on. Yeah, I think my Illustrator is struggling with this file right now because it's pretty intense. Okay, I'm gonna stop zooming in and out. As you can see, there are so many little things in it, so many parts of the vector that Illustrator is now kind of trying to process it. It's like, wow, it's too much at the same time. Cool. Tunch is saying, what if we rasterize it? Yeah, that's what I want to do now, because otherwise it will be really hard to working with it. As you can see, when I'm zooming in and out, it's already kind of giving me trouble. Okay. Can we deselect now? Come on, Illustrator. Come on. Alright, so now let's select only that. Okay. And I'm going to go into Object. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Rasterize. Okay. Let's take a look at what Illustrator will give us. But I kind of like that there's so much complexity in this and so much texture that it's really cool. I'm kind of loving this. Cool. I like these colors already. I think this works out pretty well. The problem is only that it kind of created these white background parts, but that's okay. We can work with that. Just for time reasons, and I don't want to be dealing with such a complex. We could also simplify it, so we can definitely, you know, work out some pieces of that. And as you can see, this texture here is really amazing, and we can totally use it as a, you know, as a brand pattern. It's really random, and to create something by hand is actually really hard. Has anybody ever tried you know, making a pattern like this, like a random pattern by hand? It's really hard. Okay, and here it only took us, what, not even a minute to kind of take the picture, and yeah. Okay, so for now I'm just going to leave it like this because I don't want to have Illustrator give me trouble. So let's say we have a pumpkin sale at our little local pumpkin store or vegetable store, and look how wonderful these colors even look on top of each other. So this dark red on this off white, and usually it will take us a while to kind of find the right colors, but here we have the library and we can just click on some of these colors, and you know, and bam, we have already something really cool coming out. We can even take out this darker red here, and we can go in, you know, work on it a little bit. Okay, so let's say pumpkin sale, or let's say Halloween party. Halloween party. Hey, Halloween arty. That works too. All right. So now, let's say we have a letter size document, right? So I'm going to use my artboard, and I'm going to create something like just a random rectangle, and then I'm going into my preset and I choose letter. So now I know if I want to print this is the exact letter size. So all I have to do is now I have to place my artwork into here, and I don't have to worry about, you know, any resizing anymore later on. So this is going to be super cool. All right, so again, I'm aligning my rectangle on this, and our Halloween party text box now is huge because we don't need all of that. Okay. All right, so let's say I want to kind of make this a little bit bigger, and I can even go ahead and, you know, place it somewhat interestingly. Maybe I can even grab some of these colors and add them to the background that we have in our libraries already, the pumpkin ones. So maybe we can create some kind of rectangle here. Bam. and have it have the same color, and here the same thing. Maybe there's something, some information that can go there, or maybe this can be even some kind of restaurant menu. So Halloween menu. So yeah, we can totally play around with that and make something cool. And this could be already some kind of preset that we can use for stuff. So we can even just take some of these things. So we can take the whole thing actually and put it into my inspirations. So here I have the different groups, right? And here, if I click the little plus, I can select the graphic and I can place it into my libraries, right? So it will have this whole card basically there, and I can pull it in anytime. So I can just grab it and pull it in into any of my projects that I'm doing. So now let me rename this, and let's call this Halloween card. Okay. So now let's create a new folder here that is basically our Halloween folder. Oh my god. Halloween. I don't know why I'm really bad at spelling. How do you spell Halloween? Okay. Now I'm putting it into, is it with one L or two L's? It's probably with two L's, right? Hopefully. Okay, all right. So we have this, and then I'm going to put this extraction here as well. And then remember yesterday we made this pattern of my finger actually holding a candle, and then there's a screen in the back. Very interesting. And so let's do something similar to that. Let's try out a pattern. So I'm going back into my iPad, and let's take a look at what kind of images we have here. Let's take a look if we can make a pattern out of our something that really is different. Maybe we can make a bum chicka pop pattern, because I think those colors are really cool. And let's take a look at that. So patterns. Woo, this looks cool. All right, so now we can actually go in here and kind of try and modify this a little bit. And this gives us an abstract version of this pattern. And then we can go in, we can also decide the ways that our part of our pattern, or basically our initial image, is being organized and kaleidoscoped into different other things, right? So here we have this, which is not very abstract. This I kind of really like, because you can't really see it, you can't really read everything, but you can read the boom. I'm kind of liking this, it's kind of cool. So I'm going to, let's see, so here we can increase and decrease the amount of colors, and I want to keep it as simple as possible. So I'm going to make it this, I think it's just 2 colors or just 1 color. So I'm going to save that. Save. Okay. All right. So I have my pattern here, and I'm going to save it to my SVG. So now let's try, oh, it's a vector SVG. Okay, good. That's perfect. All right, this is fun. And already do I have it in my Illustrator. So let's place this. Let's place this, and let's think about how we can use stuff like this. So this can be, I can already imagine this being like a huge wallpaper. That can be really cool. Or you can even, go in and select the colors. We can actually expand this and rasterize. Yeah, let's do that. We can rasterize it, or we can also go in and make an image trace. That could be also interesting. Let's go in and make an image trace, like so. Let's do 3 colors. Let's see what Illustrator will give us. All right. Exciting. And in the same way, you can also take, if you have any graphic design books or anything that, you know, any magazines, you can totally take pictures of, you know, faces or something like that and create some really cool stuff out of that. So we have 3 colors now. So now let's go in and see what we can do with that. Do you guys have any suggestions? Any ideas what we can do with this pattern? Because we are open to anything. We can also just save it and use it for another project. Cool. Spencer is saying, do you create your layout for mobile or desktop primarily? I'm not sure. My layout for mobile or desktop, I am creating my layouts usually on my desktop. I don't really work on layouts on my mobile devices. My mobile devices are usually there for me to take pictures. So quick, you know, if I see something and I'm like, oh my god, I need to remember this. I need to kind of keep this in mind for my next project. I take pictures of that. Or you can also, what I also do is I use capture, of course, and then what I like doing also for my social media is I take a picture. So let's say I take a picture of my dog, and then I actually did that before. Let's see if it's saved. I don't think so. But I actually did take a picture of my dog, and I kind of extracted the color palette of it. So that's something that you can also do. Super interesting. Or you can take your own portrait and, you know, check out the colors that you have on your face. So that can be also really interesting. Cool. Yeah. Are we talking about Max? Yes. So guys, there is one thing that I really need you to do, and it's really this year is your lucky year because Adobe Max is actually virtual online, or how do you call that? So basically, it's all from the comfort of your home, and it's free. So registering for Max is something you should do this year. I wish I had this experience, you know, where I can just watch something for free and something that high of value from my home. And you guys are just so lucky. It's so amazing. And wherever you are in the world, you can just register and you know, look through the different lessons, through the different talks, and you can see really cool interesting people like myself. Well, probably one of the very less interesting, but there is Tyler the creator, Lauren Holm. There are so many really cool designers and artists that I definitely recommend you guys checking it out. Let's actually do that together. So if you go onto max.adobe.com, you will find this page. So this is the basically kind of like the overview page, and here we have Tyler the creator, we have Keanu Reeves, we have Annie Leibovitz, we have Stefan Zachmeister. We have so many cool people here, and this is how you can register. So you go onto max.adobe.com, and on the right side you will find this register or sign in button. But since I'm already registered, I'm not going to go through this process anymore, but this is where you can register. It's completely free. It's going to be on October 20th to 22nd, so next month. And I definitely, you know, I recommend you guys do that and register. Cool. Anthony is saying already scheduled Max this year. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. 2020 is lucky. Yeah. In some ways, 2020 is very lucky. Thank you so much, Sam, for sharing the link. Awesome. Yeah, and the faster you register and for the events, the more chances you have to attend them, because some of the events get booked out. So make sure to do that. That's a really cool kind of resource for you guys. All right, awesome. So let's say we have this brand, right? So let's say I'm on the design team of Bomb Chicka Pop, and I want to create something cool, some cool, I don't know, social media background for them. And it's going to be used as a template for a future, you know, if somebody from the marketing team wants to create a post, they can use one of these backgrounds, right? So Boom Chicka Pop now has this background that they can use, and you can also make a pattern out of that using the pattern tool. So that could be good as well. All right. I want to see if there's something that we haven't tried yet. I think what we haven't tried is creating a material out of a visual. So maybe, but only maybe, if I'm able to show you something really cool. So guys, materials. I don't know if you have ever used Adobe Dimension. I have talked about it so many times, but there basically what you have are 3D models that you can apply different materials, different colors, and of course decals to them, so you can basically create your own mock-up in Dimension. Cool. And Tunch is saying Tyler the Creator. Yes, he's really, really good. So now let's try and create a material. Let's try and create a material, and maybe we'll have the chance to kind of render this out a little bit and see how that can benefit us. So let's say we are using Capture, we are in the store, we saw this really cool pattern, and we want to create some kind of, I don't know, something cool out of it, something interesting. So let's take a look what we can do. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my photo again. Oh, this looks really cool. This is actually just my table, and okay, this is awesome. It's very interesting. And this is just my hand in front of the camera, so I'm literally just holding my hand in front of the camera, and this is the cool stuff that you see. Isn't that awesome? I think that's also really cool to just you know, play around and see what you can do. Okay, so let's say we want to have something like this, and now we want to use, oh actually no, never mind. What I wanted to show you guys is using the, well, we could actually use the pattern. Now it's getting really complex. We could use the pattern to kind of create a material, but right now what I want to try is I want to try and create a materials. There we go. So now I have this glass tabletop, right? So if I take a picture of that, I will be able to create a material. Now I can edit this material, I can repeat it so that it kind of creates a pattern out of the picture that I took. And also there is frequency that I can work with, intensity, metallic, I can make it more metallic, but actually this is pretty good so far. And I also can change the roughness, which is basically kind of adding some contrast to it. Blend edges. Yeah, blending edges is really, really helpful when you're kind of creating this repeat thing, so that the edges kind of flow into each other. Interesting. Okay. So let's keep it like that. And I do want to save it to my inspiration library, and then I want to use it in Dimension. So I want to build something quick, really, really quick. We only have a couple minutes left, but something really quick to show you guys how that works. Okay, so here you can basically preview how those things will look like on different objects. So let's say I want to create a cool bag like that. That could totally work. So let's save that. Okay. All right. So I'm saving this, and I'm saving this in my, oh, I'm not sure if I can show that to you guys because I have a little bit of a different Dimension version right now. But okay, I'm saving it to my library, and then you will be able to access this material in your Dimension on your desktop, wherever you're using it. So then you will be able to basically apply this material onto, let's see if I can do this. I'm not sure because I have a different version of Dimension right now, which I probably cannot use on the stream right now. But you guys should definitely try it out. Please try it out. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do right now, because I'm working on some secret things. So let's just continue with this. So let's continue with this, and let's make some cool kind of social media asset out of this pattern. Okay, so Oh, where are you guys? Ah, I see you now. Okay, so now let's add some text to this, and let's create some cool asset that we can use. Boom. All right. Now, since we have kind of extracted the typeface already earlier, let's try it out and let's see if we can find something that will work here. All right, so I think that one could work. Let's try out and increase the size here, work on the graphic so that this can be something interesting maybe. We can also go in here and we can change the colors, of course. So once we have you know, rasterized and expanded our image, we can go in and select the single colors and we will be able to adjust them as well. I'll show you guys a trick that I showed you guys yesterday, which was really awesome, where you kind of select all the same colors and it can save you a ton of time. So that's also something really, really interesting. Cool. Carol is saying I'm envious. Yeah, I know. I would love to show you guys. I would love to show that to you guys, but unfortunately I can't. Okay, so now we have this group of different elements, right? So now I'm going to go into the group and I'm going to select one of the elements of my color. So let's say it's this, not sure what is this, like a strawberry purple color, pink. And I'm going to go into select same fill color. And now I have already selected the same fill color. And I can even separate it. I can even move it to the side, and I already have this really, really cool thing that I can even use on top of any kind of color, right? So let's just do that, and let's keep it a little bit more simple. So I'm going to delete the rest of this graphic, and this is all just experiment, my friends. So I'm just you know, I'm just trying to show you how my process usually is. So look at this. This looks really, really awesome already. We can even start designing a packaging out of this. So let's say, of course, you can't be so literal and just take somebody else's packaging and, you know, and just start designing on top of that. That's not what we want. But this is for you as an example of what you can do with this kind of stuff. So let's say we have something like this. We have, let's say we have like a packaging and we have, you know, a pattern that we put on top. That could totally work. That could be totally interesting. Let me not stretch too much, maybe something like that. And I'm going to make a clipping mask out of this. So I'm just going to create another rectangle on top. And now I'm going to select the rectangle and our pattern, and I'm going into my properties, make clipping mask. So now I have something like this, and it kind of does look really cool. I'm sure you can use it for different things. Now let's work on the color and let's, you know, see our libraries in action. Ooh, see, this goes back to the packaging that we, I think, extracted it from. I think that packaging was having those similar colors. Okay, cool. So let's say we have something like that, and then we have a product that's called Boom, and then we put it on top, arrange, bring to front, and then let's try different colors. So let's say we have something like that. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's try different typeface. Let's make something interesting here. Properties. Okay. So let's say I want to type in Boom again. And let's see the typeface that we already have. Yeah, I think that other one is a little bit better. So I'm outlining this and I am kind of pulling it out, making it bigger, like so. And if we say, so right now I feel like this background color, this darker, I would call it strawberry color, it's a little intense because it takes a lot of my attention, right? So what I can still do is I can go in and select this color and select same fill color, and now I have selected all the same filled objects, and I can still give them a different color. So I can give them maybe some kind of like a light purple or something like that. Ooh, right now you don't really see the difference here of the colors. But let's see what we can do with that. Oh, look, this is so much better. This is so much more balanced and interesting. I can even imagine this being some kind of restaurant menu, like the backside of the restaurant menu, or some kind of separation between the different columns of the menu. That could also work. Okay, so now let's try to find a good color for this. Okay, maybe a little bit darker. And the good thing is, now that I have this library, I can just click through and I already have so many different tones that I can totally access and, create something nice like that. Okay, now let's say this is our restaurant menu. So let's say I'm just experimenting here, guys. I literally have not anything planned for this type of pattern, but I'm just showing you guys how the uses for that can be and what we can do with all these cool things. Let's say it's a menu. Hey, I'm typing menu. I'm always talking with my Illustrator. It's kind of like a person, because sometimes it even has it even helps me a lot, and it's kind of like a helper. Okay, so let's say we're placing this here, and now let's make that a different color, maybe, or let's make it the same color. Or it could be a really cool, menu. Oops. So it could be like a really cool menu front page, and giving it texture. Instead of just keeping it empty, you can make it exciting, you can make it cool, and you can even work on the opacity here. So let's say I have 100%. Now I can go in and kind of change the opacity just a little bit, or I can also go in and play with that in terms of transparencies. So I can go here and and try to see what kind of effects kind of could work for me, right? And so let's say my opacity is 100, so I can see that a little bit better. Oh, this is also interesting, and black, of course. But I'm actually more interested in the different hues and the different relationship to the background of it. Okay, hard light, overlay. So definitely play with those things, my friends. And then you can go in and you can, let's say you want to use this for your future reference. You can save it to your library by clicking the plus sign and save graphic. So now we already have this graphic here, and we can put it, let's say, into the folder of restaurant menu inspirations or something like that. And we will already have this amazing, collection of things that we can just use for our next project. And this can be, this can make our workflow so much faster, and it can definitely bring us a lot of value. And, I'm also sometimes thinking of, I sometimes have things in my head, and just before when I go to sleep. So I usually keep my iPad really, really handy, and then sometimes it's a color palette, so I can even just, save some colors. Of course, you can also use other applications. And I'm also curious to know if some of you guys have used Capture in combination with Fresco or any other sketching software. That would be interesting to know. Cool. Steve is saying I have taken 3,500 photos of my cat since March. Yeah, Steve, it's about that time that you vectorize your cats. So please try out Capture, and I want to see your cat. Okay, awesome. So any other questions? Luke is saying, Julia, I'm consistently learning from you. Thank you so much for your great content. Thank you so much, Luke. It's so great to have you guys here. Damaris is saying, this is coming out really nice and interesting. This pattern is cool considering it came from a bag of popcorn. Yeah, right? And it can be super interesting to kind of explore those things. Yeah, cool. All right. Tunch is saying, you work simple and it always works. Yay! Yeah, simplicity is actually, everything. You can always make things more complex, and you can always, you can always create more complexity out of one thing. So I would start showing you something, but I think we're running out of time and we only have a couple minutes left. And let's take a look quickly at the schedule for today, guys. So I know that some of you are just starting off and just learning. So make sure to check out our other streams. After this, we will have Jesus Ramirez with the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. And then we have Paul Trani later on with the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. And then we have also Cody Bear with drawing and painting, and Vashi Visulas visuals, with video editing. And then we have the XD Daily Creative Challenge with Andrea, and Design in the Dark with Andrew and Jennifer. So super cool. Stay tuned after the stream, my friends. It's going to be super fun, and I'm wishing you all a happy Tuesday. Um, just keep on experimenting, keep on learning, and feel free to get in touch with me at Julia Masalska on Instagram. I'm definitely happy to answer any of your guys' questions. So cool to have been hanging out with you guys. We'll be back tomorrow with another stream. I'm going to be hosting an amazing designer and artist, Mechi. She's going to show you guys some really other cool tricks, some really nice other cool tricks in Illustrator and maybe in InDesign. So guys, have a great day. Thank you so much for hanging around with me, and enjoy your next streams. See you soon.